Well, this is going to be a different project, side project. I'm trying to get a bunch of work done outside, and I'm tired of lifting stuff all the way up into that bed of this Polaris Ranger. So I'm going to figure out something. I thought I could use this maybe on the front and use a ramp on the side. That's no bueno. This has zero strength this direction. I don't want it to fool a bunch of stuff. This mount also is weak. I just want this to be able to hold about 350 pounds. Lifting, you know, pressure washers, garden tillers, that size equipment, maybe generators, nothing bigger than that. I want to be able to get it on and off of there. I mean, I'm not sure I want to do this in the front. I've seen game winch mechanisms that attach back here. You tip the bed all the way up and you kind of lift into the bed and then lower the bed. That seems fiddly too. This stuff would need to get lifted straight up. So what would be ideal would be some kind of a crane arm attached to the side over here that could lift it up from behind the bed, swing it over and set it down in the middle. But I can't think of a way to do that. I have a mobility lift mechanism, robot arm thingy. But I think it's only 250 pound capacity, if that. So I don't think I want to do that either. I just don't think that's quite enough. I've seen them at 300, 350. The ones I got used at an auction that nobody wanted. I think they were $20 or $30. Well, if you go on Facebook, people want $800 for them. So that's not happening. But one way or the other, the project is to make it possible to physically lift or go up a short ramp, something, physically be able to get equipment in and out of a Polaris Ranger relatively easily. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, after careful consideration, I decided to try to do it the easiest possible way. All right, so what happens? With this on here, right? Weight on it, tries to pull this way. All these push down. Well, the bolts in the holes pretty much stop it from going downward. But I just think the easiest thing to do is put a bead of weld right on top of that. I'm never going to want to mount a winch on here anyway. And if I did, well, I can always grind off one weld. I don't see any need to weld the bottom. Maybe tack it, but that's it. Then I went on Facebook Marketplace and I found a wheelchair lift for $200. And again, for the cheapest possible way and easiest work-wise to do this, I think that'd be it. The thing's weatherproof, so it can be in the rain, doesn't matter. It's electric. Should be able to lower it to the ground, drive, roll, a garden tiller, pressure washer, generator, whatever, onto it. Now the thing is heavy. I bet it weighs 125, 150 pounds. So, I figure I shouldn't put more than 350 on this front end, weight-wise. But also, we're not talking about going down the highway like this. We're talking about going a few hundred feet to take it from point A to point B. I think that's going to be fine. And I think it'll be handy for lots of things to be able to electrically lift it and move it from remote building to the garage. So we're going with that. We're going to see how it works. Let's see here. Where were we? I already forgot. Yeah, okay. Can't hold everything. Which way did the plate go? You were supposed to know.
That's it. See what I mean? Now we're gonna run a bead right across that top. And I think that'll be plenty strong for what we're doing. But first I'm gonna tighten the bolts up. I wanna see if this is level, because I think it slopes slightly downward. If that's true, I'm gonna fix that by putting a shim underneath the bottom of it first. So let me see. Testing. Shoving this board in here, holding the back end down, right? And just as I suspected. Can you see it? It needs whoop a little bit. Well, how much is a little bit? I don't know. Let's get a washer. Just stuff a fender washer or two under there and then see how much it actually takes. I'm speculating about like that, I think, is what it's gonna take. Let's see here. We actually wanna cinch it up before I check. Really? That's nice. Alright, I think that's probably good enough for testing purposes. Let's try this again. Can you see? Alright, let me get in the back. Push this board down. Okay. That's flat in the receiver. Get in there. And I'm much happier with that. In fact, that's a tiny bit the other direction. That looks good to me. All right. That's what we're going with. So I'm gonna, I don't know. Maybe I just weld the washers right where they sit. Again, this is only supposed to be good for 350 pounds the way I'm making it. So I think this is overkill anyway. Let's see what happens. Well, nothing like fun. Oh yeah. Get some gas. Turn it on. Oh yeah. Get ready to cover your eyes. And check. Let's try it right here. Oh yeah. I think we need more schmutz to start with. Faster feed. Winner. Boop. Hey. Just to be sure. All right. I can't film the bottom, and I'm getting a cold. It's awful. I'm gonna attack right under here, but I gotta lay down there to do it, and you're in the way. You don't need to look at how pretty the welds are, or not pretty. Uh-oh. What welds? Hey. My can of schmutz isn't schmutzing. Wow. I've never had that before. That's weird. Where pressure will come out, but paint won't. Wow. Wow. What in the hoo-ha? Well, there's nothing for it except to give it the old shaky shake, I guess. Perfect. Like it was made that way. There you have it. Oh, what a letdown. It's gonna waste part of a can of paint. Josk! Okie doke. Well, there it is. But Houston, we have a problem. It looks all crooked, but when it hits the ground, you see, whoop, that can pivot. So, anywho, problem is, that's it. It doesn't go any lower. So I'm gonna switch around that situation. I need to clean the rust out of there so the drawbar shoves inside the receiver hole more, at least to the last hole. You know, to get it as close to the axle as reasonable. Well, what's it look like? So this is how it works. I'd rather be on the high end than the low end, so ground clearance won't be a problem. You can quit there if you're hauling something, but if you're totally storing it behind the vehicle, which would not be good on the front of your UTV because, you know, you're trying to see what you're doing. But anyway, you can crank it all the way up like that if you want to. What for storing it whilst driving. I'm thinking that's in normal, just leave it on their UTV mode. It sticks out quite a bit. I don't know what I'm gonna do. It definitely is bigger than I want, but it's also too heavy to just throw it on there real quick for lifting stuff. Not really. Maybe if there was if you made a stand that it would sit on, so you just about could slide it in place and slide it back out without physically lifting the whole thing at once, because it's probably 100 and something pounds, and it's awkward. There's no good handles in the right places. But anyway, let me get that thing flipped around, see how that looks to start with. Now, it has another little feature. You pull this kajinga jangler out of here. At least I think that's the one. And then you release this pin. Hold on. The whole thing can swing them a thing, you know, over here to get it out of the way, right? Well, you obviously, common sense would tell you you don't lift over there. It's just to get it out of the way of opening or closing a hatchback, tailgate, whatever. But almost all the time, that's where you want it. Ooh. All right, let's get that thing switched around. Well, there it is. It's certainly not perfect. I'm sure you can already tell. You have to look through that plate. And you can see through it. You can operate the machine. It does function. I think the way to do it is leave it in the down position. Then all you see is the motor head in your field of view.
I didn't hook up the wires inside yet, but this is done. Everything's solidly mounted. I didn't gain much by flipping that thing over, but 2.5 inches, 3 inches maybe. So this doesn't quite hit the ground, but I decided that doesn't matter either, because every piece of equipment that we would be talking about, I mean, you can wiggle the wheels up an inch or two. It's probably 1.5 inches before it hits the front edge. So I can live with that. I should be able to lift half of a whatever pressure washer, shove the other end on. You can wiggle it on there and deal with it. I'd rather have the extra height clearance than to worry about it further. I know you can get different drop bars, or I don't know what you call them, but allow this whole thing to be lowered. Who knows? May fool with it some more. But, you know, I guess I don't care about it sticking out in the front. And I mean, I don't take this thing trail riding. This is just for working around the property, moving stuff around, splitting firewood, etc. And this will allow me to take a 200, well, all the way up to a 350-pound machine, roll it on there, lift it up, and transport it and set it back down, probably in here to work on it type thing, and take it back down to the shed or barn. So it will do its job. I don't know if it was the easiest way. I halfway think I should have just reinforced that, made a big ramp that folded all the way the whole full length of it and flopped on the ground. But it was awful weak. That's an all aluminum one, so it's very light for taking on and off, but it's also not very strong. And you'd have to have everything, the load centered right in the middle. And it can't hold as much. So, I don't know. Still a work in progress, but this would certainly be one way to get 350 pounds pretty much off the ground to about 16 inches off the ground to transport it. So, we'll see how things work out. Okie doke. This is sitting inside, and I'm looking uphill, but now it seems like it's way out there in the front. It is, and it's blocking more than it is, but let's think about this. My eyeballs are only blocked for the first few inches inside the garage, right from this height. Well, it's not very much of my field of view. I can certainly see the drive, so I think this will be fun. Let's turn off the lights and see what it's like. So I got a helper. Sacrifice that little bit of visibility for the ability to lift stuff and haul it without breaking my back or finding a helper. All right, well, I'm gonna call it a mostly success. I wish that wasn't in the way of my field of view, and I guess I could ride around with it flipped in the down position, but it's gonna work. You'd hate to be out someplace and then be using it, trying to hoist something and blow the fuse. Testing. Future video project, one of the unknown garden tillers. Alright, let me get some kind of strap on it. So what do we got? There's Mr. Lift. Look, I polished it up with some paint. Wired in a wiring harness to the accessory side, so it won't be on unless the engine's running. Or you flip the key in here. You know it's on because the red LED comes on. So anywho, that's what it looks like. Back here where you can see. That's it.
200 and, I think it said 263 pounds, something like that. Going over the tripod. I just centered it on there. Give it the old 50 McLifterson. I think that's gonna work good. Just for moving stuff around. This is heavier than I'll ever put on there, most likely. 236 pounds. So, you know, loading trash cans be easy. Pressure washer, any of that kind of stuff. Any of the lawn equipment, if you watch these videos, you get the idea. But I think that will work. I'm going to leave it. That's the end. Pull it off this end. I think the best way to leave this for driving around is just where it starts to come off. Right there. That won't be in the view. I don't have any need. I don't care if it sticks out in front. That'll work. If you wanted to, you can always flip it up and bungee it. Then it blocks your view more. And drive around and see how it looks like that.